In this tip, I'm talking about staying behind the ball as you hit the ball. All right, so what does that mean? Well, if we go into our setup position like this, you can see that my body is slightly tilted. So I've got some, I call it pre-tilt. So I'm pre-tilted like this. So my body's angled like that. So I'm already pre-tilted a little bit behind the ball. Okay, so right here, let's say this is like 10 degrees. Okay, when I hit the ball, I'm going to increase that. So this will not be 10 degrees. It will be more. So in the great majority of tour pros that I have measured, they are on a 30-degree tilt when they hit the ball. So they may be starting on a 10, hit it on a 30. And if you don't believe me, just start watching some tour pros, pick out a tour pro. You know, you got to measure the angle, okay? But the ones I've measured, 30 degrees. All right, so that seems to be pretty average, 30 degrees. So if I started here, let's say I started on a 10, and then I hit it on a 30, see where my head is? My head is still behind this ball as I'm hitting the ball. My head wouldn't be ahead of the ball. See? I'm tilting forward if I did that. Now, if I wouldn't start here and slide laterally or this way to get ahead of the ball. All right, so you want to try and keep your head behind the ball when you're hitting the ball. Now, the longer the club, the more you tilt. All right, so a pitching wedge, you're not going to be tilted as much. Driver, if you're a pro on TV, 30 degrees. You know, doesn't mean, you know, other people aren't 30 degrees. Just using that as, you know, measuring the best players in the world. Okay, they seem to be on a 30-degree tilt. All right, so we want to keep our head behind the ball when we hit the ball. All right, so got thinking about it? Simple way, right? If you're looking down at the ball right here, don't you kind of know where your nose is? You know, it's right in the middle of your face. So if you're looking at the ball, you can kind of see your nose right here. So why don't you just keep your nose behind the ball? Okay, because how do people know where their head is, you know? So, you know, I did a tip and I told someone to keep their head behind the ball and they're like, what do you mean? It's like, okay, so I'm going to keep it even more simple for you. Keep your nose behind that ball when you hit the ball, okay? So you set up like this. There's your nose. You got a little pre-tilt. Oh, nose is behind the ball. I'm going to go up to the backswing and I'm going to hit it with my nose behind the ball. I don't want my nose to go ahead of the ball. See? So I just thought of that, and it's a pretty simple way to do it. So watch me hit one. Here we go. So I'm doing my pre-tilt like this. See where my nose is? Right here. Okay, so definitely nose is going to be behind the ball when you're hitting driver, and then you can do it with irons too. All right, so I am not one that's going to tell you to hit down on the ball, move this way to hit a ball, forget all that. You do that, you're going to send the club way over the top. So here we are. Here's my nose. If I move my nose ahead of the ball, club goes over the top, okay? Over the top. I don't want you swinging over the top. All right, so even with irons, keep your nose behind the ball. All right, so maybe practice that for a sec. So here we are. Got some pre-tilt. So I can see my nose right here. So I go into the backswing. Okay, I'm going to feel like I'm going to keep my nose behind that ball when I hit the ball. So here I am. Okay? Kind of a simple way to do it. I just thought of that one a few minutes ago. I don't know, everybody kind of knows where the nose is. So keep it behind the ball. That'll get you more tilt. Get the tilt. Now you're attacking from the inside. Take your nose, move your nose ahead of the ball. You're coming over the top, and you can easily prove that to yourself just by doing it wrong. Go like that, move your nose ahead of that ball, and no joke, that club will be swinging over the top. So keep your nose behind it. Then you'll attack from the inside, hitting the ball nice and solidly, and you'll be hitting it right on target. I truly hope you've enjoyed this tip. You know, I've been teaching a powerful, effortless, pain-free golf swing now since 1991. If you'd like to learn this type of swing, then click on this link right here, or click the link in the description below, and I'll send you some free samples of my body swing book and video series that take you step by step by step through how to build a powerful, effortless, pain-free golf swing.